Beginning. The shadows of Draethis. The first thing anyone ever told me about the Draethans was simple. Don't look them in the eyes. Don't get too close. And never, ever let them bare their fangs near you. Naturally, that meant I eventually ended up doing all three. My assignment to the remote world of Draethis-IV, a crimson-skied exoplanet orbiting a dying star, was supposed to be a routine diplomatic engineering mission. Earth wanted alliances. I just wanted my contract bonus. The Draethans, tall, pale, nocturnal beings with bioluminescent markings, wanted very little to do with us, especially their feared warrior caste. And one of them in particular. Her name was Vyrella of the Night Court, and she was unlike anything I expected from a species rumored to drain the life force from their victims. Draethan fangs were not for drinking blood like human myths claimed. They were conduits, biological energy interfaces that could either heal or drain, depending on intention. And Vyrella, from what the officers whispered, had never used them for healing. I first saw her during the initial meeting between Earth's envoy and the Night Court. The chamber was enormous, shaped like a hollow geode. Black stone, silver veins, luminescent crystal pillars. The Draethans stood still as statues. Their eyes glowed in the dim light, vertical pupils expanding and contracting like a predator observing prey. But she was different. Tall, elegant, draped in dark shimmering armor that looked grown rather than forged. Her silver hair cascaded down her back like moonlit strands. Her eyes, deep violet, fell on me for a moment too long. My throat tightened. She tilted her head slightly, the ghost of a smirk at the corner of her lips. Felt like being chosen, and I knew it. The middle, a dangerous proximity one. The forbidden corridor. Happened 3 days later. I was repairing a malfunctioning power conduit deep within the Night Court central halls, sweating inside my exosuit and cursing Earth's budget engineers, when I felt a shift in the air. Presence. Cold shadow behind me. Turned. She stood mere feet away, her silhouette framed by the glowing crystals. Vyrella. I watched you for some time, she said, her voice smooth but carrying a dangerous undertone. A human who walks alone within Draethan halls. Either you are fearless, or foolish. I swallowed. Just doing my job. Her eyes narrowed with curiosity. Most tremble when I approach. Should I? A small, almost amused breath escaped her. Like a laugh she wasn't used to making. Perhaps. She stepped closer. Too close. Close enough that I saw the faint silver traceries along her cheekbones and jaw. Close enough that when she tilted her head, her lips parted slightly. Her fangs, sleek, crystalline, beautiful in a dangerous way, slid into view. My heart stopped. Humans feared those fangs. Entire galactic rumors were built around them. She watched my reaction carefully. You do not run, she observed. Should I? I repeated. Her smile widened, and something electric pulsed in the air between us. Maybe, she whispered. Because if a Draethan bears their fangs so near, it is either a threat or an invitation. The word invitation hung in the air. I felt heat rise to my face, confusion and excitement mixing. But she stepped back suddenly, leaving a cold void where her presence had been. You are interesting, human. Then she disappeared into the shadows. I didn't sleep that night. 2. The forbidden question. The next day, the Night Court called for an emergency engineering check. Something about a disturbance in the lower reactors. I suspected sabotage, but the diplomats insisted it was a structural recalibration issue. But I arrived to find Vyrella waiting for me. Lone. She leaned against a crystalline column, arms crossed, glowing patterns shifting gently on her skin like flowing constellations. I requested you, she said. Why me? You do not avert your eyes. Beep. And you do not fear mine. Cleared my throat. Fear is inconvenient. Honesty, she said. Another unusual trait. We walked deeper into the chamber, and I inspected the reactor's stabilizer nodes. Someone had tampered with them. I started working, but Vyrella stood close, closer than necessary, close enough to make me very aware of her presence. Finally she spoke. Human. Do you know why Draethans fear attachment to outsiders? Because of your feeding fangs. I asked, instantly regretting the bluntness. She stared at me, unblinking. Our fangs do not feed on blood. They connect to energy, emotion, intention. She stepped around me, her voice softer, lower. When we bond with someone, our fangs amplify their life force. It makes us stronger. But it also makes us vulnerable. Deeply. Pause. Too deeply. She looked away for the first time since I met her. Not predator-like. Not cold. Almost human. Have you ever used them to bond with someone? I asked quietly. She didn't answer for a long time. Then, no. 3. The warning. Hours passed. We barely spoke. The silence wasn't hostile. It was heavy, charged. When I finished the repairs, she walked me back through the dim hallway. Human, she said suddenly, her voice sharp. I must warn you. You are being watched. By who? My people. Oz. And by me. She stepped in front of me, close again. Dangerously close. Then her voice dropped to a whisper. If you ever step toward me with desire in your heart, something will happen that I cannot take back. Her lips parted. Her fangs slowly descended again, beautiful crystalline arcs shimmering faintly. Her eyes locked onto mine. If you kiss me, human. Long pause. I cannot promise I will not take your life force, or your freedom, or your heart. Then she leaned even closer. Do you understand? I swallowed. I understand. But the truth was, I didn't want to run. I didn't want to escape her. And she knew it. Her voice softened to something almost seductive, almost trembling. So tell me, why do you remain near me? I exhaled slowly. Because I want to. Her pupils dilated. For the first time she stepped away. If I bare my fangs to you again, she whispered, I will not be able to stop myself. The climax, the moment of Fangs 1. The ambush happened fast. While I was leaving the reactor chambers, a group of hostile Draethan enforcers cornered me. They accused me of sabotaging the systems, a convenient excuse to remove the human distraction their commander believed Vyrella was becoming. One grabbed me by the collar. Another raised a weapon. Then the shadows behind them erupted. Vyrella. She moved like a storm, silent, deadly, with glowing patterns flaring violently. The enforcers fell back instantly. Touch him, she hissed, and I drain every last breath from your bodies. The enforcers scrambled away, terrified. She stood over me, breathing hard. You could have died, she said sharply. I'm fine, I muttered. But she wasn't listening. She cupped my face in her cold hands, eyes burning. And then, her fangs emerged fully. Not halfway. Not teasingly. Fully. Deadly. Beautiful. Terrifying. Human, she whispered, voice trembling for the first time. I cannot hold back anymore. 2. The question that changed everything. She leaned in. Close enough that her breath brushed my lips. Close enough to feel her trembling, not from anger but from something deeper. Then, barely audible. Are you brave enough to feel them? My heart pounded. I trust you, I said. He froze.